Li Shi. And today my topic is to talk about motivation and attitude in a Taiwanese adult classroom. And this is my content. First part is introduction and have background, purpose, research gap, research questions, and significance. And background. It's widely accepted that fluency in the English language is a key to success in life. Motivation, attitude about learning the language are both the determining factors that can influence efficiency of the students in language classes. The role of the learner's motivation in the acquisition of language, other than their own, has been a subject of controversy in applied linguistics. Attitude is accepted as an important concept to understand human behavior and is defined as a mental state that includes beliefs and feelings. The purpose of the study is to investigate Taiwanese students' motivation and attitude, whether or not it influences their achievement, and figure out the relationship among learning motivation, attitude, and achievement. Research gap. Previous studies had different viewpoints about motivation. Some researchers emphasized integrative motivation was more important than instrumental. But some researchers have opposite. So the researcher tried to verify it. And I will explain what is integrative motivation and the instrumental motivation later. There are two research questions in the study. Question 1 is, how will dual language learners' motivation and attitude predict their language achievement? And second question, is there any difference between male and female learners in their motivation and attitude to learn English? Significance. If the researcher could understand and explain learners' motivation and their attitude toward language learning, then the researcher could give the right direction to the language learners. They could focus on the main points to improve themselves. And literature review part have motivation, attitude, and achievement. Motivation. Second language motivation is referring to the extent to which an individual works or strives to learn the language because of desire to do so, and the satisfaction experienced in this activity. There are two kinds of motivation. First called integrative motivation, second called instrument motivation. And what is integrative motivation? It reflects the learner's desire to be like a high level or effort to learn the language. And Lambert and Gardner mentioned that if the language learners are integrative motivation and they will pretend more enduring motivation for language learning. For example, some people they want to learn English because they want to develop their skills, maybe communicate skills or writing skills. They want to improve themselves. And what is instrument motivation? Instrument motivation is an interest in learning second language for pragmatic and utilitarian benefits. What is utilitarian benefits? For example, some language learners they want to learn English because they want to get a better job or get more salaries, not just because they want to develop their skills. So that's called utilitarian benefits. Motivation. The integrative motivation was viewed more importance in a learning environment than instrumental motivation. However, there are the other researchers have the opposite thinking. For example, in this researcher's study, he found that an instrumental motivation was more important than an integrative motivation in non-Western lies female learners of second language in Bombay. And attitude. If language learners with more positive attitude, they will become more successful in achieving their goals. Positive attitude towards second language and its speakers can be expected to enhance learning, while negative attitude obstructs. And there are two kinds of attitude. First is positive attitude. Second is negative attitude. Positive attitude is taking decision of acceptance or reaction that agrees the attitude we linked, or it's the attitude that reveals the advantages of the subject to take up its value. And negative attitude is the attitude that reveals the disadvantages of the subject to dismiss it and to weaken its strong attitude. And achievement. Achievement goals theory posits that the purposes that students hold for interesting in a specific academic task are an important precedent to their achievement-related process and outcomes. And the lesson part is methodology, have participant instrument, pilot study, procedure, statistical analysis, and questionnaire. And participants are all English major students from freshman to sophomore, and approximately 200 participants. The location is in Taichung City, Chaoyang University of Technology. And instrument is Altitude Motivation Test Battery, and it's short for AMTB. This question is adapted from Gartner's. In this question have two focus parts. One is motivation part, second is attitude. And in motivation part have 104 items. In attitude have 12 items. So totally have 116 items, 6 Likert scale. And this questionnaires, proper alpha is 0.87. And the other instrument is try to test achievement. And this part, the research adopted participants' TOEIC score to compare with AMTB questionnaires. And why the researcher choose TOEIC as the instrument? Because TOEIC test is one of the most accepted and the most accessible English language assessment worldwide, with testing locations in more than 165 countries. So you can see TOEIC test is validity and reliability. And this is AMTB questionnaires, first part, motivation. You can see the question 1. I wish I could speak many foreign languages perfectly. And participants can choose strongly disagree to strongly agree. And second question, my parents try to help me to learn English. And second question, I don't pay much attention to the feedback I receive in my English class. And attitude part, question 1 is, my motivation to learn English in order to communicate with English speaking people is weak to strong, and 7 Likert scale. And second question, my attitude toward English-speaking people is unfavorable to favorable. And the last question, my interest in foreign language is very low to very high. And pilot study, the participants are all English major students and have 30 participants. And in this part, I will use Pearson correlation. Procedures. First, I will deliver 200 questionnaires, and in this part, the researcher calculated the time of participant will spend approximately 10 to 50 minutes to fill the questionnaire. And second step is data collection. Data collection about in 2 weeks. And final is data analysis. And the researcher will use SPSS to do the data analysis. Statistic analysis. About question 1, how will do language learners' motivation attitude predict their language achievement? Question 1, the researcher will use Pearson correlation. And question 2, is there any difference between male and female learners in their motivation and attitude to learn English? This question, the researcher will use t-test. And let's see the questionnaire. This is background information. And the second part is motivation part. And this is example. And this part is the questions. And the final is the attitude part. And you can see this is questions, have 12 questions. And thank you for listening.